don't quit when you don't pass the audition, when you're told no, because if you quit when you're told no, when you're told it's not your time, not you right now, if you quit then, it was never your dream to begin with. Welcome back to The Samantha Show. I'm your host, Samantha. You can call me Sam, just don't call me Sammy. We are not at home in my little home studio. We are in the beautiful, gorgeous Waxxpot Dayton. It feels like a little echoey in here. It's like bouncing off the walls, but hopefully coming in loud and clear. I'm here with two amazing wax specialists. I'm here with Alyssa Smith and also Erin LaCroix, and we're going to talk today all things waxing. So this little mini series on the Samantha Show is all things skin, and I feel like maybe I'm living under a rock. Everyone's gonna judge me when they listen to this, but like, I just got into waxing like 5 minutes ago. Like, I'm like, why have I not been waxing before? But we're gonna talk about all the tips, the tricks, and what makes Waxxpot Dayton really so special. So before I get into it, ladies, I would like to learn a little bit about you. So I'm here with Alyssa. Alyssa actually is the one who waxes me. So she's seen all parts of me, but we'll get into that later. Alyssa, tell me a little bit about yourself. How long you've been doing this? What's your background?
All right, guys, my name's Alyssa. I graduated esthetician school from Aveda in Westchester in April of 2024. I've been working at Waxxpot for almost a year, and I love it. I think my clients make my job so much easier, and I love seeing your guys' faces every day. I just love what I do.
My name is Erin LaCroix. I have been waxing at Waxxpot since October of 2021, so almost 3.5 years. And I love it. I'm also a store trainer here and have been doing that. It'll be 2 years this coming summer. And then about me outside of work, I have a husband that I've been married to it'll be 3 years this summer, and then 2 cats at home that I love very much. But I love my job. Yes.
2 cat babies.
Yes, 2 cat babies. Yes.
We love a little fur baby moment. Tell me a little bit about Waxxpot Dayton specifically. How long has this store location been here?
Yeah, so I believe that this store has been here since 2017.
Okay, and so what makes Waxxpot Dayton, or what is your method and how does it work?
Yeah, so I think that something that makes Waxxpot different is that we do speed waxing. So a lot of our services are around the 15-minute mark. It kind of varies depending on what part of your body you're getting waxed, but it's speed waxing. So you're not going to be here for multiple hours getting your whole body waxed or anything like that. And then we also use soft wax. It is a beeswax based wax, so it is good for your skin as well. So it's not too harsh or anything like that.
As a mom, the speed wax, I fully appreciate. I think that's like the most amazing thing. I'll be like leaving my house and my husband's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to get waxed. He's like, well, how long until you get back? I'm like, honestly, it's going to be so fast. Mm-hmm. Like before you even get up and done from playing your video games, I'll be back. So I really like that. And then I love the branding. Just to speak, I'm a big on branding, but you guys use beeswax, which I was unaware of that. Well, wait, does all wax, wait. No, honey.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the honey that's in the wax. It is beeswax, but I mean, there are so many different kinds of wax. Yeah, oh gosh. I mean, because there's also hard wax. That's usually not a beeswax base, but hard wax, you apply it to the skin and then it dries and then you peel it off. You don't need a paper strip, but with soft wax, it doesn't harden on the skin. It doesn't harden around the hair, which is why you need a paper strip to remove it. But the beeswax, it stays nice and soft. Use a paper strip and then you remove it.
You answered the question that I feel like was coming up to my head all of a sudden that I didn't realize I was talking myself into. So thank you for answering that. But yeah, the branding's beautiful. I love it. Now I can see the little like honeycomb like shapes for the beeswax. So that's adorable. So tell me a little bit like why choose waxing? Now I know, and I'll be honest, like my favorite I think is my armpits, like why I waited so long to start waxing my armpits. But why should someone choose waxing over just like shaving?
A lot of people kind of gravitate from shaving to waxing because they'll notice that they're starting to get razor burn. Their skin is getting more sensitive to razors. So waxing really helps with sensitive skin. There's long-lasting results to it. You don't have to do it every day. It's typically every 4 weeks, but the more consistent you are, the longer you'll be able to push your appointment out. So, I mean, if your hair thins out really well and you keep being consistent, you'll be able to push your appointment out for longer than 4 weeks. So yeah, it's really good to thin your hair out. You'll kind of notice that your skin won't be getting very irritated the more you do waxing. So it is really good for you.
And what are let's like debunk some misconceptions of waxing. So how bad does it, I now know how bad it hurts. It's fine.
Yes. So you don't want to let the first time scare you away. No matter what it is you're getting waxed, it's going to be a little shocking, the pain, but you can't let it scare you away because it does get better each time. The more you exfoliate, the more you're taking care of your skin, the more you're doing it, the more your hair thins out. That all plays a role in the pain and how much easier it's going to get every time.
And I feel like what I've noticed, it's so quick, right? And that's like the beauty of like the ripping the strip off. It's not like this ongoing, like slow torture. It is so quick. And then, you know, I'm usually like, Alyssa, what was that? And then, you know, it's fine.
Speed Waxer's here. We're speeding with it.
We get it done.
Yes.
Is waxing safe for sensitive skin? So we've talked about like you can, you know, sometimes with shaving, you end up getting razor burn and your skin gets irritated. So is waxing safe for sensitive skin?
Yes, it is safe for sensitive skin. Our wax that we use here is made for sensitive skin.
I have one quick thing to add. There are certain medications and things that people take that can impact how their skin responds to the wax. So we have a consent form that new guests fill out every single time that they come in, and every year current guests have to fill it out. But we want to make sure that someone isn't actively using retinol on their face. That makes the skin very, very sensitive. Taking Accutane, that's another thing that can make your whole body really sensitive to waxing. Or taking blood thinners, because that can also start to thin the skin a little bit. So those are like very specific things that we look for when we are looking through a consent form and looking at someone who's wanting to come in to get waxed. But typically, if someone is not using retinol or is not on Accutane or taking blood thinners, I found that usually people have like their skin responds really well to getting waxed. So
yeah, and we're going to talk about like pre and post care tips, so how you can kind of soothe the skin afterwards if it is kind of irritated or red. So I just want to confirm here, like in my misconceptions, because I heard you say it. So once you wax, typically the hair does grow back finer, not thicker, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's correct.
And it's a beautiful thing because then we can space it out.
Yeah. Yep. That's
so,
the goal.
Right. I know. That's why I'm like looking at like how far can I start to space these out, you know?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about pre and post care tips. So the biggest question has always been for me is like, how long does the hair need to be to wax it?
Yeah, it has to be as long as a grain of rice or half an inch. It has to be a certain length just because when we apply the wax has to be able to stick to the hair, so the hair has to be long enough for it to pull out.
That reminds me, I don't know if you remember, Alyssa, last time I was here, I was doing my underarms and I was like waiting to grow it, and I like put my arm up. You're like, oh, you barely have any hair. You can't even see it. And I was like, this is a jungle. Take care of my jungle. Like I felt like I had to wait so long, but we have our own perception of like what our body looks like and things like that. But apparently it wasn't as bad as I was experiencing it in the reflection of the mirror. So when you're setting yourself up to wax, should you exfoliate beforehand?
Yeah, so typically you want to exfoliate at least 48 hours before your appointment. And then after that, you want to wait 48 hours to exfoliate again after your appointment. So.
Because that skin's been exfoliated once you wax.
Yes.
It's got it all taken off there. Is there anything that you should not do before waxing?
that's a good question. I mean, really the only thing that we would recommend not doing is maybe not coming in after you've like been working out or anything like that. Sun exposure is another really big thing because that really makes the skin really sensitive to wax. I mean, yeah. There have been people, especially during the summer. That's the bigger. I'm not looking at you. You're fine. I'm just looking around in general. Especially during summertime, people will come in, and I've had to tell guests that I need to see them a week from now to let their sunburns subside. Because if your skin is already red and irritated, and then you wax over that, it's just not good for anyone. It's not worth it. You want to wait.
That doesn't even sound pleasant.
It's not. No amount of aftercare is going to make that feel better.
Yes.
So.
We talked about this on a previous episode because I owned a spray tanning business. So I will say, wait to get your spray tan until after your wax, like 48 hours after the wax, because
the wax is going to snatch that whole tan right off. Oh yeah.
What about post-care tips? So how can you avoid ingrown hairs, breakouts, irritation after the wax?
Yeah, so we definitely want to avoid any excessive sweating for about 24 to 48 hours after you get waxed. Reason is with waxing, your pores are going to be opened because the hairs are coming out of the pore. So we don't want to allow any sweat, dirt, debris, bacteria back into your skin because that is going to cause irritation or a breakout. So we want to avoid that for about 24 to 48 hours after a wax. So working out would be a big no-no. We also recommend avoiding like hot tubs, saunas, pools, swimming, things like that. That would not be good for the skin either. I also recommend avoiding having sex for about 24 to 48 hours, again, just to avoid any dirt, debris, bacteria getting into the skin.
Yeah, those are really good tips. And I know there are some really nice products that we can use. And this is where I'm going to drop our secret word, which is sugar scrub. So anybody who DMs the word sugar scrub on Instagram will be entered to win a free service here at Waxxpot Dayton. So the word is sugar scrub. Send DM with that word. You can be entered to win a free service. So talk to me about some of the products that you guys do have that you can use with post-care or even prep getting ready for your wax.
Yeah, so we actually have some of them behind us, but we have a couple different kinds of products. So our sugar scrub is called Smooth. So it is a sugar scrub. It has sugar granules in it, but it also has fruit enzymes, which is another really great way to exfoliate your skin, which is super cool. It has natural fragrance, all natural ingredients in it, which is really good. We usually recommend that our guests maybe aren't using certain sugar scrubs that you could kind of find at the store. I'm not trying to like name drop, but there are a lot of sugar scrubs and exfoliating products that do have a lot of artificial fragrance in them, and it's just not good for your skin, especially your Brazilian area, especially after you've gotten waxed. So yeah, I love our sugar scrub. We also have Prevent, which is our chemical exfoliant. So Prevent has glycolic acid and lactic acid in it, and chemical exfoliants work by, instead of it being like a scrub that's scrubbing away the dead skin cells, the lactic and glycolic acid, it kind of like breaks apart the bonds that are the dead skin cells. I usually really like to recommend Prevent or chemical exfoliants for clients who experience more like deeper cystic kind of ingrowns, because that kind of sinks beneath just that top layer of skin and treats ingrowns kind of from where they're starting in the first place. And then we also have our Clean, which is our body wash, and that has little scrubs in it too, to just in a lighter way kind of break down dead skin cells. And then we have Hydrate, which is our body lotion, and that has hyaluronic acid in it, which attracts water and moisture back into the skin, making sure that your skin stays nice and moisturized.
And I feel so lucky to have used all those products, and I really enjoy them. I really love the sugar scrub in the shower. Like, I just feel like it feels so good, and it just kind of has like, I don't know, it just feels like it makes my skin so soft.
Yeah, which is so nice, because sometimes sugar scrubs can kind of leave your skin feeling stripped and dry, which is not a good feeling. Yeah. And especially with getting waxed, staying hydrated is another really important part of keeping your wax looking good. Because if we're scrubbing and we're just stripping away all that moisture and the skin is dry, if we do have ingrowns pop up and our skin isn't moisturized, that redness is going to linger. It's not going to heal the way it should. So the reason our sugar scrub is so nice, because it leaves you feeling moisturized afterwards.
It definitely does. It really does. So thank you for explaining all those products here. I highly recommend them. I use them, and I truly love them. So I want to talk a little bit about my first Brazilian wax experience. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. So like, I feel like I came in here real nervous. Actually, the first time I came here, I was getting just a bikini wax because it was right before Nationals for Mrs. American in Vegas. And I was going to be on stage in a swimsuit, and I was like, we're going to Vegas. Like, I've always just shaved, but I was like, let's treat ourselves and wax it. You know, I'm going to be there for 10 days. I don't want to have to worry about shaving. So I feel like that was like, what do they say when it's like the slippery slope of like that first experience? I was like, okay. The next time I came back after, I was like, let's do like the top strip, like take a little more. And Alyssa, who's been so great, she's like, just let me know when you're ready for the full Brazilian. I'm like, I don't know. And I ended up talking to my friends, and then all my friends were like, yeah, we all do it. And I was like, all of you? And they're like, all of us. And I was like, I don't want to be left out on this. No. So then I finally came in. I was like, all right, Alyssa, let's take it all off.
Took me by surprise too.
I was scared.
I thought it would take a while for her to finally get the courage to do it, but
you know,
it didn't take long.
It didn't take long. I was like, let's just do it. I think it's a combination of things. So I'm speaking just from my experience here. There's the fear of pain. Yes. And then it's kind of a vulnerable experience at first. We were talking earlier, we're talking about our vagina in a stranger's face in some questionable position.
Interesting positions.
But I think this is just like a testament to you, Alyssa. Yeah. I felt so comfortable with you, and you made it so fun and relaxed. And every time I came in, we had such great conversation. I almost felt like I was like with a friend. And the same way we feel really comfortable with our friends when we open up with them and things like that. Like, I think that that's what made it okay for me to be like, okay, let's try this. I feel comfortable. I feel safe in this space. And I think that's so important when we are in kind of a vulnerable state and we are exposing ourselves, that we want to feel really safe and we want to feel good about the person that we're with. And so my question is, and I think my biggest fear too is like, okay, here we are. Like, what are they thinking? Do I smell bad? Are they going to be like, you look weird? Like, all these things. So I have to know from a wax specialist standpoint, we got all the things going through our head on the table, especially if it's our first time. What's going through the wax specialist head? Like, can you put us at ease that you're not up there judging what's going on?
Yes. So my main thing when I leave you guys to, get undressed and get prepared for it. My main thing is making you guys feel comfortable, trying to ease your stress, because I know it's very nerve-wracking, especially if it's your first time. It's very nerve-wracking. You're not used to it. Even going to the gynecologist is still scary. But that's the main thing for me, is like trying to keep you guys comfortable. And when I get back in the room, when I'm waxing you guys, honestly, I might be thinking about like, I don't know, do I want a caramel frappe after work? Or should I go to Starbucks? Do I need to go to Target? Am I going to go tanning after work? Am I going to work out when I get home or later tonight? Like, I'm kind of planning my day like through my head while I'm waxing you guys. So honestly, I know that you guys are thinking like, oh my gosh, like, what is she thinking about me? Do I look weird? No, we're never thinking anything like that. This is just what we do. It's just another day in the office for us.
That's like what I think you said to me. It's just another vagina.
Yes,
like
it is.
It's really it.
They all just kind of blend in at this point. I'm just waxing you and I'm just like doing my thing.
I think that's really comforting to hear, because I would imagine that would be something that stops a lot of women, is just, yeah, we're like really self-conscious. And like I said, it's a very can be a vulnerable experience. And so I think knowing that, not that I expected anything different, but knowing that you guys aren't like, oh my gosh, or oh, this is the worst day of my life. And, one thing too that I thought was really nice just to share is that you guys have like wipes in there, and you give us permission to clean up if we want before. And, I think that too just makes you feel like, okay, I have an opportunity to kind of clean myself up a little bit again to, if you're running around, whatever you're doing, we're not coming from the gym per, Erin's recommendation, but, still it feels nice to like have a moment to kind of get yourself cleaned up before we kind of start the process. And I feel it's really not that bad.
It's not. And I mean, I've been there too. Like, I have been in your shoes. I have gotten my first Brazilian. But the more you do it and the more comfortable you are with your wax specialist, the easier it gets. It's just another day. You're coming in to see your friend. The conversations are going. We're never quiet in there. We'll keep you guys talking, especially if you're nervous. So yeah, there's no judgment going through us because we know how it is.
Yeah, you definitely do a good job kind of keeping us talking and keeping us chatting. And sometimes I'm like, I can't answer right now, Alyssa. I take my breath away. But let me get to that. So let me just say, like you said really what I wanted to kind of also hit on is that one thing that I love about Waxxpot is, like, for one, you can kind of see it in the video, but the place feels very clean. It feels very open and airy in here, and you guys feel like friendly. I felt that even with your front desk staff when I first walked in. They felt like friends. I felt like I was walking to a really comfortable place, which is huge. What do you guys think, just from a wax specialist standpoint, I'd love to hear from each of you, makes this place special for you as a wax specialist and like the relationships you have with your clients?
I think it makes it special because we have such a great group of girls here. We all love each other. We learn from each other. We're kind of a family. I don't know. I just think that I mean, I love my clients. I love walking into work every day. It doesn't feel like work because it's fun, because I look forward to seeing all of you guys. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
I mean, I would definitely echo a lot of the same sentiments that you just said. I mean, I think after waxing for a couple of years and seeing someone once a month and getting right into business, catching up with what you were talking about last time, you get to know people. And especially when you're doing Brazilians, I think that kind of opens the gateway into just having more open, honest conversations and sharing about things that maybe you wouldn't normally share about with friends over brunch or something like that. So I just think it's really sweet that people trust us. They trust us with their waxing, which some people come in and they've been waxed before and they didn't have a good experience. And I think getting to change people's experience for the better is really, really fun, especially with brow waxes. I'm sure, Alyssa, we've both had experiences where people have come in and they haven't loved how their brows were done in the past from another place, and getting to work with people, getting to have super open communication with them, and then they walk out of here feeling confident, whether it's their brows, their underarms, their Brazilians, is a really, really great feeling. Yeah, you just get to know your clients by name. You get to know all the little intimate details about their lives, and that's really special that people trust us with that.
I love that. I believe it wholeheartedly. So is there anything that we didn't cover that you guys want to share about Waxxpot, the Waxxpot experience, why somebody shouldn't be nervous to come in? Or along that same line, what would you say to somebody in kind of a closing thought, as somebody who maybe is timid or nervous, whether it's because of pain or they're scared about, judgment or whatever that may be? What would you say to somebody who's hesitant to try, but maybe has been on the fence thinking about it for a while?
Yeah, I would say that for people who are nervous, kind of like you were saying, you didn't start with a full Brazilian. Yeah. There are ways to get into waxing and get to know your specialist before you commit to doing services that you're more nervous about. I've had clients where I did their brows for 2 years, and then little by little, they started asking about Brazilians. And then after 2 years of seeing them, they finally started doing their Brazilians. So that happens all the time. You don't have to start out with the biggest, most scary service, even though it's not that big or scary. Yeah. There are ways to get into waxing without facing your fears right away. But get to know your specialist. I encourage people, if you find a specialist you like, stick with them. Build a relationship with them. Ask them questions that you feel like are embarrassing to ask. Although I've never had anyone ask me a question that I haven't already heard before. Usually all the questions are super common. People just feel kind of embarrassed to ask, but that's okay. Like, we want to answer your questions. If something feels embarrassing to you, I bet it's not embarrassing to us, because we've seen it before. We've heard it before, all the things. So there's really, there's nothing new under the sun. You're not going to bring anything to the table that we haven't seen before, literally and metaphorically, in all the ways. So
I believe it. Alyssa, you got any parting thoughts or words of wisdom for anybody who's maybe hesitant?
I do.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, just try it. Just try it one time. And again, don't let the first time scare you away. One of Waxxpot's slogans would be everybody welcome. So we really take that to heart. We don't want you guys to come in here feeling like you're judged. We don't want you guys to feel uncomfortable. We want you guys to feel confident, and that's what we're here to help you with. So you just got to try it. And again, like Erin was saying, get to know your wax specialist. Again, I love my clients, and I'm always welcoming new clients because I love seeing your guys' faces, and I love catching up with you guys. I don't know, what's the drama today? What did you do this past weekend? Just kind of keeping the conversation flowing and thinking about you guys, in the few weeks that you're gone. I wonder how she's doing. I wonder whatever happened with this situation. So we really do care about you guys. And, we think about you guys all the time. So yeah, we don't ever want you guys to feel uncomfortable. And that's what we're here for, is to make you guys feel comfortable and confident.
And that you certainly do. And I will say there was one day, Alyssa, it was kind of early on where I forget where I had messed up the timing or something, and I couldn't line up with you, and they were going to put me with someone else, and you're like, no, I rearrange it so I can have you. I remember that moment. I felt really good because I was like, wow, she cares about me as her client. And I didn't see it as a way oh, you're trying to take it from somebody else. It felt to me, it was no, I have a relationship with her. I would like to be the one to do her service. And that meant so much to me as a client, that you were kind of willing to even help me out when I think I was the one who goofed up the schedule and stuff. So I definitely love that relationship that you get to build here too. You guys have been amazing. I just immediately, the first time I walked in, I was like, how long has this been here? And they're like 5, 6, 7 years. I'm like, where have I been? Well, now I'm here at Waxxpot Dayton all the time. So
yes.
Thank you ladies so much. Again, the secret word is sugar scrub. Send a message on Instagram to be entered to win a free service at the Waxxpot Dayton location. Everybody who is listening, I hope you have a great day because you deserve it.